If you are trying to survive the 2026 job market without burning out, the goal is not to look busy. The goal is to protect your time, keep your income stable, and remove the work that does not need your brain. Because most people do not actually have a work problem. They have a workflow problem. They spend their day switching tabs, searching for answers, rewriting the same things, and organizing tasks by hand. That is why I use 3 AI assistants to handle most of the heavy lifting. One helps me research faster, one helps me execute faster, and one helps me stay organized without wasting my whole day. By the end of this video, you will see exactly how I use them, and how a full workday can get compressed into a couple of focused hours. The first assistant is Perplexity. I use it as my research layer because it is built for real-time search and citation-rich answers, which makes it perfect when I need current information fast. Whenever I need to check a market trend, compare tools, or pull together a quick brief, I do not start with 10 open tabs and a long trail of links. I open Perplexity first. Its job is simple. Find the facts, check the source, summarize the key points, and give me a clean starting brief so I can move fast. This is the part of the workflow that saves the most time, because research is usually where people get stuck. They spend 20 minutes looking for one answer, then another 20 minutes trying to remember where they saw it, and another 20 minutes rewriting the same idea in a cleaner way. I do not want that. I want a fast first pass. So Perplexity gives me the starting point, and then I make the final decision. That is the difference. It is not replacing thinking. It is removing the drag. And when your work involves content, business decisions, cost comparisons, or current data, that speed matters a lot. The second assistant is Claude, especially projects and artifacts. Claude Projects let me keep work in a self-contained workspace with its own chat history and knowledge base. And artifacts let Claude turn ideas into shareable content, tools, or visual outputs in a dedicated window. This is where the actual writing happens. I use it like a dedicated workroom, not like a random chat window. I keep my recurring prompts, my brand style, my examples, and my structure in one place. That way, I am not re-explaining myself every single time I need something written. This is where the real leverage starts. Because once the assistant understands the pattern, it can help with drafts, rewrites, summaries, outlines, replies, and content structure much faster. For me, that means less time staring at a blank page, less time trying to force the right words, less time rebuilding the same framework from scratch. I use it for things like script drafts, response drafts, project notes, and turning rough ideas into clean output. So instead of spending my energy on first drafts, I spend it on improving the final version. That is a much better use of time. Because in real work, the first draft is not the valuable part. The valuable part is the decision, the polish, and the final direction. The third assistant is Motion. I use it as my planning layer because it is built to create entire projects with tasks, deadlines, assignees, and stages. And it is designed to save time by building the structure for you. This is the one that keeps the whole day from falling apart. Because even if you research fast, and even if you write fast, you still need your day to stay organized. That is where planning comes in. I use Motion to turn a messy workload into a clean structure. Tasks, deadlines, priority order, blocks of time, next actions. Instead of thinking about everything at once, I let the system sort the work for me. That way, I know what needs to happen now, what can wait, and what should be pushed later. This matters more than people think, because a lot of work stress is not caused by the work itself. It is caused by the mental load of trying to remember everything. Once the day is organized, your brain stops wasting energy on chaos, and that is when you start feeling like you are actually in control of your time again. Here is what the day looks like in practice. I start with research. Perplexity gives me the current information I need, and I get a fast summary instead of digging through everything myself. Then I move into execution. Claude Projects gives me a dedicated workspace, and Artifacts lets me build and refine content in a more focused environment. Then I move into planning. Motion turns the workload into a structured project with deadlines and stages, so I know what to handle first. By the time I start working for real, half the mental clutter is already gone. That is why the day feels shorter. Not because I am doing less, because I am doing less manually. And that is a huge difference. This is the part people miss. AI is not just about making content faster. Because if your workday is full of repetitive tasks, you are spending your best attention on things that should have been automated long ago. But when the boring parts are handled faster, you can focus on the parts that actually grow your income. Better decisions, better output, better consistency, less burnout. That is the real win. Not just speed, leverage. So that is how I use 3 AI assistants to secretly work far less than a normal day would suggest, while still getting the important work done. Perplexity for research, Claude for execution, Motion for planning, that is the stack. And the reason it works is simple. It protects my time, keeps my work moving, and helps me stay consistent without feeling overwhelmed. If this breakdown helped, comment below and tell me which part of your workday you would automate first. And if you want the next video about breaking down the tools, the cost, and the exact setup step by step, so you can build the same kind of system for yourself,